Welcome back, Wicketers. Saran here once again. Your your co-host who actually isn't as depressed as he was last week, but is still there.
Yes, I am back here again. Ollie Bloomfield, your favourite co-host, the better co-host, more cricket knowledge, the same old. And
He says this every week.
Yeah, I do, because it's true. It's been a not as eventful week as cricket as last week, I would say.
I agree. There's been a lot of stuff that's happened though. Still plenty of things to talk about, and I think we begin. You know what we begin with?
Ireland, England. You want to start there?
Yep. How do you think the series has gone? Let's ask you that. Like, obviously the T20Is are done. What are your thoughts?
Well, the obvious happened. We made it easy, both games. We didn't look in danger any time. Really easy cricket.
Fair enough.
What the result was expected. Just there was never a competition at any point, really. You'd watch it, it was like, yeah, England are definitely going to win this, and we just did.
Yeah, what did you think that was more due to? Do you think that was more due to England playing in like bigger stadiums so that the boundaries was even smaller?
No, not at all. It's just England are got much better cricketers than Ireland. Would you just imagine that?
I was going to make a very good point, but oh well, fair enough.
Okay, exactly. That's a very bad point then.
No, I was talking about, like, obviously England are in a completely different league to Ireland, and that's what I was linking towards, because they're playing at a smaller stadium. This pitch, or the stadiums that they played at, they were like New Zealand, that they were tiny. That's the kind of stadiums that Ireland are used to. But then England, they've played in so many other big ones, and then they were able to clear the boundaries easier.
I don't think the stadiums will matter. Any stadium England bat from every single game.
No, but it made their job easier. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think even if it was a big stadium, it'd be the exact same situation. England beat Ireland really easily. I don't think it made it easier or harder. It was just like, smaller stadium. They played Trent Bridge. Trent Bridge small stadium.
All right then. So, who would you say, like, the players that you think did the best?
Phil Salt continued his great form. He unlucky to get another century. You're sad. Cox in the second game, he came in, guys, made an half century for England in T20 cricket.
Jordan Cox has been so unfortunate, hasn't he? Like,
yeah,
the amount of injuries that he's had at crucial times, but then now he's finally proved what he brings to the England setup.
Yeah, but once again, this, like I mentioned on the review, the headache is just going to get even harder for these selectors. It's like, what do you do? Like, there's so much stuff you can do. Like, but what do you actually do?
So who do you think that their best T20I squad is? Like, do you think Jordan Cox actually fits in there, or does he not?
He's in the squad.
But what about the 11? I'm talking about the 11. Do you see Jordan Cox being in the 11?
That's too much to ask right now. But maybe. I'm not exactly sure.
Because England, like, they've kind of been blessed with kind of a very large player pool, like loads of players who have been sort of brought up in this Bazball mentality. But now they have the issue of, like, they've got so many good players, how do they balance it all out? They have a similar issue to what India has, or what they had a couple of years ago, where they have so many IPL performers that did so well in the top league.
I don't get this. This is the same in so many sports. It's in like football, it's in like cricket, it's in like NFL, all that stuff. why is it a problem having too many players? Well, I don't get why people see this as a bad problem, having too many good players. It's not a problem. It's just simple. You pick the people for the right occasion, for the right who's in form. Yes, it's not a bad thing to have too many good
Yeah, but
players.
the thing I have to say about that is baseball doesn't really pick on form, does it? It picks on promise. And then the IPL is completely different. That picks on form, and then that's why we've seen India done so well in the past.
You need to get out the mentality.
I never said it was a problem. When I said problem, I meant as in a good thing.
Listen. You need to get out the mentality that baseball don't choose based off form. Of course it chooses based off form. Yes, we've done maybe one or two picks where it wasn't based off form, like Shai Bashir. But mostly, yes, we do pick up form. Or Jordan Cox would have been all of a sudden included in the Irons squad because they realised they made a mistake at first and saw his good form. Was like, yeah, let's put him in. Re-Ahmed game re-included in the White Ball squad, and he might be going to the Ashes. So
Jordan Cox was seen a lot earlier than the 100, though. He was not before that.
You need to stop saying baseball don't choose based off form, because it does choose based off form. Of course.
Yeah, but that's only in some cases. In other cases, I'm not saying that they don't choose based off form. I'm saying that it's dependent on the situation.
There's been one or two occasions where baseball has not chose off form. That is Shai Bashir and continually going with Zach Frawley and Ollie Pope. That's the only times you can see them not choosing based off form because they back those players.
Yeah, it's situational. That's why. That's the thing about baseball. It's very situational.
Form, though. Of course, they always go for form. Or Green Ahmed all of a sudden will be going to the Ashes, won't he? Or Cox won't be getting back England team. Like, look at Sam Curran. He went in bad form, so they dropped him. So he's back in form, so they decided to bring him back in.
Mm-hmm.
So of course they choose off form. Of course they choose off form. Saying that they don't choose off form is ridiculous, because nobody would do that.
We spoke about this so many times on previous podcasts, though. Like, we talked about county championship and that kind of form, and how that didn't really play in.
Yeah, but it is, because you can see the taking players. Yes, because they're not taking players like they did do that though. They took Sam Cook. They chose Sam Cook based off form
after like 5 or 6 years of trouble.
Yeah, and what happened? He didn't play well, so they dropped him. And they brought Liam Dawson back because of form.
Yeah, but that's after quite a long time, though. That's the only thing.
Because why would they drop players who are playing well for England? Because other people are performing well in a worse competition. Because I don't think you realise the difference between county championship to international cricket. It's such a big difference. Yes, you might be in great form in county championships. Soon you go and play for England, you could bowl terribly, and that's it. You won't play again for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Anyway, so what were we talking about before we got into this massive digression?
England and Ireland. About Jordan Cox playing well.
Mm-hmm. Alright, then, anything else to mention about England and Ireland?
I thought, in especially first game, the bowling wasn't great for England. I'll say that. The second game, the bowling was really good though. Liam Dawson bowled brilliantly. Jamie Overton bowled really well in the second game, surprisingly. He bowled really, really well. Then Adil Rashid, of course, just Adil Rashid, isn't he? Just taking wickets all over the place. Yeah, there's not much gone from this series because it was just like it was just really easy for England.
Can we cement Phil Salt as first choice T20 opener now?
Yes.
Good. I'm glad.
But I've got another player who's going to need to be dropped from England for a bit.
Who do you think?
He's still young, but right now he's not ready. And he's played 2 games for England and he's proved he's not ready. And that is Sonny Baker. He's not ready for England. He's too expensive. He's just go and play performance cricket for a bit longer. He'll definitely play for England again, but he's not ready yet.
Mm-hmm. I still think he should go to the Ashes and be in the squad.
No, not at all. Because
who replaces him? Then? Who replaces him?
If he's going expensive against Ireland and South Africa, especially Ireland, he's very expensive against Ireland. I mean, like, you can't consider him for the Ashes. You just can't. It's too big of an occasion to take him.
And we made the point previously that it's not. That's the mistake England made last time. They played too many debutants in the Ashes.
What even is the Ashes anyway? I don't know what you're on about, to be honest.
So who replaces him? Like, obviously, Sonny Baker's out of the picture.
Replacing what, then?
Oh my days. Anyway,
let's move on.
Let's move on. You look surprised.
No, I was just reading something. Go on, move on.
Alright, so the Asia Cup, we officially moved on to the Super 4 stages, and it's been really interesting so far. Some stuff that's happened, like, even I didn't predict. Like, the first 2 matches, Bangladesh actually beat Sri Lanka, which I'm quite surprised with, because in the group stages, Sri Lanka wiped the floor with Bangladesh, but this time around, it was a lot closer. And I think a lot to do with that was, like, I've mentioned this so many times before, Bangladesh's openers, like, both of their openers, they're young and inexperienced, but they still have that attacking mentality. Even though they didn't score as much as they did against the other teams, like Afghanistan and I think Hong Kong, like, they still had positive intent. Like 20, I think Saif Hassan got about 25, Tanzid got about 20 as well. And then it was mainly the top 4 that I talk about so often with Bangladesh. I'm going to actually make sure I don't get this wrong, so I'll get it up for a second.
You get stuff wrong a lot, don't you?
So Sri Lanka were batting first.
That's in people.
And what was interesting was that openers didn't fire, or didn't fire as much as they should have. Pathum Nissanka, arguably one of their main batters, like, he only got out for about 22 or 15. Quite a slow innings for his standards, and not really an innings that we expect from him. He's kind of been, like, Sri Lanka's all-format batter. And Kusal Mendes, he didn't fare much better, 34 off 25. He got more runs, but he hit more 6s than 4s, and honestly, strike rotation was poor in my opinion. There were way too many dot balls played. It reminds me of a Pakistan innings. And Bangladesh's bowlers, they really sort of came to the fore here, specifically the pacers. Taskin Ahmed and Mustafizur Rahman, like, the more economical of the bowlers. And Mustafizur Rahman, he's kind of been, like, under the radar the past few years. Even though he's not even that bad, he is good. So I did get a couple things wrong with Bangladesh's innings. Saif Hassan actually got 61 off 45. One of the openers did for me.
That much they're on.
Pardon?
Really doesn't matter that much.
I mean, this is, in my opinion, this game kind of changed what, like, obviously Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, it's a big little rivalry in Asia. It's a big rivalry. I'd say second behind India and Pakistan. And it's important for both teams considering the history that they've had. And it's like I've said in the preview, if the top 4 batsmen for Bangladesh fire, even though Tanzid got a duck and Liton Das only got 23, the top 4 still fired, and they scored the bulk of the runs. That's why Bangladesh, aren't in that elite level just yet because they're so dependent on their top order. It's the same with Sri Lanka. They're similar in so many ways. Like, they've got rising pace attacks and declining spin stocks. But yeah, I was surprised that Bangladesh even made it through, if I'm going to be honest.
Well, they did win all 3 games. So I don't know why it's a big surprise. They're clearly good cricket. No, they didn't win all 3 games, didn't they?
Yes.
They won 2 games. 2 games.
Yes, and Sri Lanka won all 3 games, which is why I was surprised.
Yeah. But yeah, I think like the big shock was clearly Afghanistan, was it?
Yeah, I was expecting Afghanistan to go through 100%. If we looked at the squad was strong. But the issue was there were too many inconsistencies. Like, I haven't actually sat down and discussed Afghanistan's, like, why I didn't think they make it through, even though they were my bet for the final. Like, I was hoping for them to make it to the final.
You bet it? Good boy. Don't bet.
Anyway.
You bet on me betting?
I'm not.
Good boy.
Anyway, so obviously a big part of what Afghanistan sort of failed to lack in, that doesn't make any sense. What Afghanistan lacked in was obviously the openers didn't fire. So if I go back to the games where, okay, right, Afghanistan, where are they? And I go to Rahmanullah Gurbaz. Yeah, the last 3 games don't show pretty scores. 8, 35, and 14. That is not the Rahmanullah Gurbaz that Afghanistan wanted, because at the top of the order, he's so important for them. He's become one of their most important batters. Afghanistan used to score really, really slowly, and they relied on their spinners to strangle the opponent. But then came Rahmanullah Gurbaz, Sadiqullah Atal, and then some of the more attacking batsmen. But obviously, it's sort of failed for them because Gurbaz is completely out of form, and as their main aggressive batter, that is not good. Even though in this game they did score 169, that was due to Mohammad Nabi, who scored 5 sixes off Dunith Walalagi, which I said how crazy that was it was like the second time in a month that it happened. Like, it's not often that you see that. And I'd say I was really disappointed with these batters. That's the main thing. I was disappointed with them. Darwish Rasuli, I don't know why he was in that batting lineup. 24 off 27. That's not a power hitter. I've said this before as well. I don't know why he's picked in this squad. There are so many other batters you could choose from. And I've said this again. Karim Jannat. Like, I laugh at this guy. I laugh at the fact that he still plays for Afghanistan, especially after the 2021 World Cup, I think. It was the World Cup where Asif Ali scored like 3 sixes off of him and absolutely took the wind out of his sails. Like, he absolutely smothered him to a pulp. And I'm still surprised that he's still managing to play, and let alone the fact he's batting at such an important position at number 3. Ibrahim Zadran has been their most... I'd say... I'm Ibrahim Zadran and Azmatullah Omarzai, 2 of their best players this entire tournament. Because I've said this before, Ibrahim Zadran is the glue in that lineup. Like, he's the one that's supposed to drop down, anchor, and sort of let everyone else play around him. Azmatullah Omarzai is the opposite. He's that almost that finisher.
In ODI cricket.
Pardon?
Like Joe in ODI cricket. He's that anchor batsman who's just...
Yeah. I think I've made that point as well. I've definitely made that point. Like, with Ibrahim Zadran, almost like a Joe Root. I've made that point in one of the previews. But anyway, the good thing about Azmatullah Omarzai as well, he's not a one-trick pony. He's amazing in the field, and his bowling has baffled me this tournament. He was bowling so well, but I'm so confused by the way Rashid Khan has used him. Because in this game in particular, he only bowled 2 overs, 1 for 10. And this went down to the final ball. it really confused me because Noor Ahmed was struggling, Mohammad Nabi was struggling, Mujib was struggling, and Azmatullah Umarzai was the most economical bowler there. Even more economical than Fazal Haq Farooqi, who didn't even end up bowling his 4. So this is the issue I think Afghanistan have now. They fit too many bowling options in their lineup, and Rashid Khan isn't utilising them well enough. Azmatullah Omarzai deserves to bowl his full quota. There's no excuses. Especially when Noor Ahmed was struggling in that second over, and especially when Fazal Haq Farooqi was struggling at the start. They put too much pressure on the spinners. Like, it's a big theme in this Asia Cup, the spin. Like, the top 3 wicket takers, top 3 or 4 wicket takers, out of that, most of them are spinners. And the issue was, Afghanistan spinners, they weren't performing. Like, even if I go to Rashid Khan as well, like, let's have a look. Yeah, 3 wickets from 3 matches. I mean, it's not horrible, but those aren't the numbers that we expect from Rashid Khan, are they?
Maybe if he wasn't too busy spending all his time around with Tom Curran, he might have been fine. He spent the entire English summer with Tom Curran. I mean, I feel sad for him, to be honest.
I think it's an amazing thing.
Sure. So you're a fan of over Invincibles? Oh, disgraceful! I don't speak to you.
You're putting words in my mouth. I was never a fan of Oval Invincibles.
But you sound like a fan of Tom Curran.
Oh yeah, I love the guy.
Yeah, sure, mate.
Love the guy. Anyway, for Afghanistan, I think I have one more thing to say about this. Just one more. I know I've talked a lot about them, but I need to get this final point across. The fact is, when they went into this tournament, they played a tri-series against Pakistan and the UAE. They looked good in that tri-series. But another issue that I think Afghanistan have, they're not playing top opponents enough. It's the exact same situation with Pakistan. Like, they haven't played top sides enough. They've been absolutely mopping the floor with the sides under them, like, under the rankings, like associate nations as well. But they haven't had that exposure to, like, top teams. They have. I can't remember the last time they've had a series with England, and I don't think a series with Australia is going to be on the board at all, and not even with New Zealand because of political tensions. Or no, not political tensions. That's a different situation. But I don't know if you've heard, Afghanistan and Australia are not doing any bilateral series anytime soon.
Mm. Yeah, it's a bit messy, isn't it? A bit messy.
Yeah. I wouldn't put it on the levels of Bangladesh and Sri Lanka or India and Pakistan. Obviously, in Asia, the rivalries do go a bit hard, but I definitely think they should be playing top flight cricket more often than not, especially against the top international teams. Like, even if they're playing against Sri Lanka and Bangladesh in series, that would be enough. Because they play the nations at the World Cup, and they've clearly done enough to show that they're able to beat them. So it's really quite surprising, in my opinion.
So, you've lost twice to India.
Indeed. And you know what? I'm not even mad this time. I know that's probably a crazy thing to say, but I'm not.
It is. No, it is a crazy thing to say. Let's be honest. If England lose Australia, I'm fuming every single time, no matter what. Even if Australia are 10 times better than us at that time, I'm still mad.
I think almost every Pakistani fan knew going into this game that, yeah, we've got no chance. Especially considering how clinical that first match was. Like, that kind of really, like, that hurt. Obviously, what Pakistan love to do best is give false hope, but we'll get into that in a second. I just want to talk about, like, how they've, like, the first sort of issues that came up. So, basically, they got rid of Hassan Nawaz, and they brought in Hussein Talat, another left-hander in the squad. And I'm just gonna read out his strike rate, his career strike rate, 117. And Hassan Nawaz's was 158. So I get that. I get why they perhaps made the change, but India sort of counteracted that. But we'll speak about that a bit later on. I'm getting ahead of myself. But
You are.
Hassan Nawaz, he did struggle in that first game, but then again, almost every Pakistani batter struggled. So it was a very confusing selection.
Yeah.
Pardon?
You always do, yeah.
But watch the Ashes later on. When that happens, I'm gonna be in his position. What he's doing to me now.
We're going to win the Ashes 5-0, so. But I can't wait for next year, to be honest. Before we go on and rant about India, Pakistan again. Can't wait for next year. It's England versus Pakistan in Test matches.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we even lost, because I wouldn't even be surprised.
I can't wait. I can't not wait. You continue your rant and start crying again. What? I didn't say anything.
Anyway, this isn't really a rant. I'm just more analysing this game, because there were so many points where it could have gone one way or the other, but then there was obviously one big change in the momentum. But anyway, so they finally brought Haris Rauf in. It took them long enough. Like, I was confused why he wasn't there in the first game, so it was glad to see him back, even though he hasn't realistically done that well against India. But anyway, we'll get into the innings now. So, first of all, big shout out to Mike Hesson. What an absolute masterstroke. Like, pushing Saim Ayub down and sending Fakhar Zaman up to open. Obviously, I've had my opinions about Fakhar Zaman, and in my opinion, they're still there.
You're not a fan of him, aren't you?
It's not that I'm not a fan of him, it's just that I think, like, my opinion slightly changed on him just because of this Pakistan lineup that I see in front of me, but I still take the fact that, like, he's getting older and he's not the same Fakhar that he used to be. But this is where I saw some of the old Fakhar Zaman. Like, Saim Ayub was struggling the entire tournament. 3 ducks in a row. There was massive pressure on him. And he was performing more as a spinner than as a batter. It was a joke that was going around in Pakistan. But anyway, Fakhar Zaman got off to a brisk start. Along with Sabazada Farhan, like, there was a clear difference in the intent. They started attacking from the second over, I'd say. And one point I'd like to really talk about is in the way that they took down Jasprit Bumrah. That probably, it was Bumrah's most expensive power play spell that he's ever bowled. And it really showed a different side of intent. Like, it has a lot to do with the coach, Mike Hesson. He has a vision of Pakistan. And for the first half, we can see what Pakistan can do when they have the intent and when they focus on the game and they play their tactics. That was really encouraging to see. And especially, I still can't get over how they took down Bumrah. That was probably the best part. It was the best part about this Pakistan innings. The way that they took down Bumrah so convincingly. They even managed to negotiate the spinners. They didn't give a single wicket to Akshar Patel, Kuldeep Yadav, or Varun Chakravarti. Oh wait, I lied. They gave one to Kuldeep, but there was only one. And who was that even? Oh, it's Hussein Talat. He doesn't even count as a batter. We don't count that as a wicket.
Oh, you can't say that. You can't disregard people's stuff. Come on.
Anyway, so
still better than you at batting, isn't he?
I reckon I could have scored more.
Okay.
I'm joking.
He's awful.
I'm joking. Cut that out.
I bowled him. He's so bad.
I'm not that bad.
I'm better than him. That's one thing.
Anyway, one of the real sticking points of the game, the first innings. Huh? What?
You didn't even deny it.
I did. I said that I was better.
No, you didn't. I said better at cricket, and you was like, yeah. You just moved on because you didn't want to miss it.
Maybe at bowling, but definitely not batting.
I am better bat than you. Do you remember when me and you played that cricket tournament?
But you held the bat like a straight stick. You held it like a cast, a broken leg that was held on a cast, and then you was like.
No, but don't you remember that cricket tournament when you?
Yeah, I hit a massive six. Yeah, I was really good in that.
No, you wasn't.
Okay, okay. You know what? Never mind.
You bowled awful. You got out near every time you batted. I didn't get out once, by the way. Not once. He got out every time he batted. He was awful.
I'm speaking about India and Pakistan. We're not speaking about the
cricket skills. Yeah.
Anyway, one of the real sticking points in Pakistan's innings, it was the umpiring. Now, you can call this a mini rant if you want, but the umpiring here was disappointing in my opinion. The third umpire, may I just remind you, I don't want to say his full name, but first is Ruchira, but anyway, he's a Sri Lankan, so there shouldn't be any bias, right? But anyway, so the first decision that really sparked controversy was Fakhar Zaman. The manner in which that he got out. Hardik Pandya bowled a slower ball which completely deceived him. It took a thin edge. It was dying down on the wicketkeeper. Now, obviously, that decision was a touch and go, but from what I could see, and from what the commentators were saying, and from what many other people in the Crick Info comment section were saying, even the announcer, was that it bounced before. And in my opinion, you could see clear grass when it touched the ground. It bounced, and then it bounced into Sanju Samson's hands. So that was the real first decision, which I thought, okay, that's not right.
How can you just be a bit of crybaby later on, to be honest?
If it happened in the Ashes, you would say the exact same thing.
That's a much bigger occasion.
India and Pakistan is the biggest occasion. But anyway.
So, right. You're telling me the Ashes series is not a bigger occasion than a game between India and Pakistan where we know who the winner's going to be before the ball is played?
No, but okay, I may have said something wrong, but no, India and Pakistan back in the 1990s, back in the 2000s, that was the series. That was the match. But now, it's a little bit different.
You believe what you want to.
He's not going to have a long argument with me this time, but anyway. It didn't really hinder Pakistan. That was the thing that I was surprised about. Saim Ayub looked a lot more comfortable. He only scored 21 off 12, but I think that's just a massive boost to his confidence. He broke that 3-duck streak. He doesn't join Abdullah Shafiq as the worst Pakistan batter. At least the worst Pakistan opener to get 4 ducks in a row. But he performed really well. There was a nice partnership between Farhan and Saim Ayub, and we ended the 10 overs on 91 for 1. There was a significant slowdown. So I'm gonna first of all, India, they did really well to get back into this. There's no credit. The credit is due to them. All credit to them. Varun Chakravarti and Kuldeep Yadav, they understood the pitch a lot better. This was not a pitch. This wasn't the pitch that it was last week. That it helped spinners a lot. And that's the really clever thing about these Indian spinners. They've played on so many different type of pitches. Especially Eden Gardens, Varun Chakravarti. He's played on the pitch that is usually a batting paradise, and he's thrived there. Kuldeep Yadav, the Arun Jaitley Stadium in Delhi, he's thrived there as well. Both pitches renowned for massive six hitting, but here, they're experienced bowlers. That's why they're in the side. That's why Varun Chakravarti's number 1 on the ICC T20I rankings. That's why Kuldeep Yadav will be in the top 10 by the end of this tournament. But that it was down to a lack of understanding from Pakistan as well. In the last 10 overs, they scored 80 runs, which was disappointing in my opinion, especially the kind of performance that they put up front. Like, at the start, we saw the Pakistan that has the potential to be a good team. Like, we saw Mike Hesson's full intent shining through. It was later on where, especially the captaincy, was very puzzling. So, Saim Ayub got out trying to play a very fog in the blender type shot. But actually, here's another thing. The Indian fielders, they had butter in their hands that night. The amount of dropped catches was actually mental. Abhishek dropped about 2, then Abhishek dropped about 2, then I'm pretty sure. Oh, here's the Fanta sponsor.
Yeah, guys,
Hey,
we need.
make sure to buy Fanta. Sponsor us, please.
Shall I just give a review quick?
Sure.
Ooh.
He's chugging that thing.
It tastes very good. It's got good flavour. It's nice.
What flavour is it? What even is the blue flavour?
Pineapple and grapefruit.
I can get behind it. I like pineapple. Anyway, advertisement over. One of these days we'll get it. One of these days. But anyway, the Indian fielders had butterfingers. Like, it was genuinely poor in the field. About 2 sixes were palmed over. Then, like, so many catches were dropped. They dropped about 2 off for Zabisada Verhan. But, like, this is the thing, though. The win is good, but then, obviously, you're starting to see the cracks emerge in this India lineup. I'll speak about it a little bit later on. I'm going to try and motor through this quite quickly. We've got an important section at the end. So,
Yes.
The ending was horrendous. There were a couple of decisions that I want to quickly talk about. I'm going to be very quick. So, Hussein Talat, sending him was a mistake. Full stop. It was a mistake. And Salman Agha, sending him as well. Full stop, a mistake. And I have an even bigger point that I don't even think Salman Agha should be captain. I genuinely don't think he is the kind of guy that embodies the brand of cricket that Pakistan want to play. Because he was very slow from the get-go. And sending Mohammad Nawaz as well, like, usually that's a good thing. Usually Nawaz attacks. This game, he didn't. And it was especially during that 18th over. He played 4 dot deliveries, 4 forward defences against Varun Chakravarti. And in what world do you do that in the 18th over of a T20? Anyway, Mohammad Haris and Shaheen Afridi, 2 of Pakistan's most attacking batters, didn't even get a ball to face. The problem was the lower order took too many balls and they wasted too many balls in order to do something useful. But that's the batting. Overall, it was a decent effort at the start, but a poor ending. And the pacers for India were off colour. It was the spinners that really did quite a bit, and the fielding was abysmal. Now, the Indian innings, yeah. Abhishek Sharma.
So let's go into our special segment. What was not planned because of a certain.
I wasn't finished, but okay, we'll skip.
Oh,
we'll skip.
You wasn't finished.
No.
Nobody cares. So we go into important segment what was not planned, but because of a certain national team, what we all love.
Our hands have been forced.
What we all love, a certain national team, what we all love, called England cricket, have decided they are going to announce the first Ashes, the Ashes squad this week. So this segment will technically be the start of the Ashes content. So it is the Ashes, our predicted Ashes squad for England. So how should we start this? Should we start with your first 5 people there?
Okay,
Just
my
from
first 5.
What you've written down, your first 5 people. So
I don't think there should be much issue with the first 5 people I've talked about. Harry Brook, Zach Crawley, Ben Duckett, Ollie Pope, Joe Root.
Yes.
That's
will all
fairly
be there,
standard.
obviously. So
Kind of the pillars of the England batting.
my first 5 people: Crawley, Duckett, Pope, Wu, Brook.
Have we picked the exact same 5?
Yes. I'm guessing we
Wow.
go to your next 5.
Alright. Jamie Smith, Ben Stokes, Jacob Bethel, Bryden Cass, Liam Dawson.
Whoa. Right. So before we go into my 5, because you've said something quite out there already.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What's very early on. My next 5 is Stokes, Smith, Atkinson, Archer, and Josh Tong.
Mm-hmm.
Mine's not controversial at all, so we're not going to talk about mine.
Listen,
you've got one controversial name in there, that's it.
Liam Dawson.
Liam Dawson. Why have you gone Dawson?
Okay, so my thinking behind Liam Dawson is, obviously, the spinners that you have available to you, Joe Root and Jacob Bethel, they can bowl a little bit. Then, I'm not going to mention the other ones, because that will be ruining some of the squad. But Liam Dawson, not only does, obviously, he didn't do the best in the England and India series, did he?
No.
Not the best, but in my opinion, there isn't anyone else that you could really turn to, especially to fill that all-rounder spin bowling squad. I mean, there's someone else that I've put in here. It would be a crime if I didn't put him in, but don't worry, I do have him. But in my opinion, it's either Dawson or you go for someone more inexperienced, like Tom Hartley. And if you ask me, Liam Dawson's in the form of his life. Even though he hasn't done as good as he should have against India, he didn't take that chance with both hands. But still, in my opinion, he's the best that England have got in that position. So it's the only reason why I've included him in. I don't think he's going to get a game. I'm thinking that it won't be much of a... It's not really a pick to provide a different angle. It's more of a pick to increase the squad depth. That was my thinking behind it.
Yeah, I see why you would go Dawson, but a bit of spoiler.
I wouldn't put him in the 11.
Bit of spoiler, I've not took Dawson.
Alright, what's your thinking behind it?
I just think he didn't perform well against India. I think that's a big thing. I thought you could see the step from county championship straight to what I was on about earlier.
In his big run. His big go at me.
The step from county championship to international cricket was there, and it showed that he's not ready. He's old, so he's not like he's not ready. He's maybe not good enough. And I think Australian conditions, yes, he's good batter, but he's a decent batter. But I haven't chosen because I went to someone else who I think would do a better job down under.
Right.
And I think you know who I've gone instead of him. So
anyway,
I just wouldn't particularly go Dawson. Though I would go Dawson, but people have tried to keep it semi-realistic.
Yeah.
So, because personally, I wouldn't take this certain spinner. Personally, I wouldn't take him, but I've took him to keep it kind of realistic.
I've mostly picked Dawson out of experience, though, so I'd be interested in who you picked. I would be very interested to see how they would compare to Dawson. But anyway, I'll move on to my next 5. So, oh, you're going to love this name. Jamie Overton, Gus Atkinson, Josh Tongue, Jofra Archer, and Rehan Ahmed.
Right. I told you to keep it. Right. Jamie Overton's not going.
Oh, wait. Oh no. Oh, no. I forgot. Look, cut that out. We'll redo that bit.
We're not calling that out now.
Oh, my. No, for flip's sake.
Yeah, Jamie Overton is not going.
This is why you don't pre-plan 5 minutes before.
Yeah, Jamie Overton's he's pulled himself out.
Although, I mean, he would have been playing if he didn't pull himself out.
I won't even have him if he didn't rule himself out. I still wouldn't take him.
Alright, so allow me to replace him.
You got to come name quick.
Now I need to rethink. Who else?
Quick name. Don't save it to the end. Just name
No,
next
I've got one. Even though it's horrendous and I know you're gonna shout at me, it's the best I got. Sam Cook.
Sam.
He's in there for bowling depth. He's not going to be a first choice starter. We move on. He's not there as a first choice. He's there as a backup. He's there for the depth. He's there as a replacement. He's not there to start off against the Ashes. We move on. Your next 5.
That's the name he came up straight away. That's crazy. So my next 5 is Bashir, Mark Wood, Jacob Ethel, Rian Ahmed, and Matthew Potts.
Ooh, Matthew Potts.
Yes, Matthew Potts.
I didn't actually consider him in my squad. He's not in my squad. I didn't put him in.
I rate him very highly. I really don't
I know you do rate him highly.
He played well against New Zealand when he got to play last winter against New Zealand. And for some reason, the England selectors had decided to completely ignore him, especially test-wise. They've completely ignored him. They basically forgot he existed. And in the 5th test against India...
Part of that has to be due with some injuries, though. He hasn't had the best time of it, has he?
In the 5th test against India, when he was fit, he was playing county championship regularly, they decided to recall Jamie Overton and decided to leave Matthew Potts at home. And guess how that series ended? A draw. Wouldn't it be? And how about Jamie Overton did not bowl well? They decided to ignore Matthew Potts and go Jamie Overton instead. But I would take Matthew Potts because I think Matthew Potts is a good bowler. And I think having a Matthew Potts there is good because you've got like Archer and Wood. Yeah, they're not going to play all 5 games, aren't they? Let's be realistic. That is just not going to happen. I think having a Matthew Potts there, he's quick and he's quicker than like say
Chris Wokes
or Brandon Carter. He's quicker than both of them. So I think having him there for when Archer and Wood can't play, have him there to just...
But here's my thing with Matt Potts, and I think I've made this point to you earlier off podcast, but I don't see Matthew Potts in the squad for a couple reasons, and it's mostly because, yes, he is quicker, but it's due to the fact he's a very similar bowler to everyone in this squad, I think. He's very similar.
Yeah, that's good. That's not a bad thing. That is a good thing. We need someone like that.
Yeah, but the thing is, though...
Get knocked down. Because that will happen.
The thing is, Matt Potts is quite small, isn't he? He's not the tallest guy going around.
Yeah, but I don't want this tall thing. This tall thing is annoying me. Because it's the thing with Bashir, what people say about Bashir, at least he's tall. Cool. He might be tall. Doesn't mean he's, like, world class.
It's once he gets used to his height, then he'll be world class.
I've seen people say, take Josh Shaw because he's tall. I'm sick of people saying...
No, okay. There's a big difference between...
I'm sick of people saying, take certain people to Australia just because they're tall. I'm like, just come on. That can't be your argument of why you shouldn't and should take one because
there's a difference, isn't there? If we turn it the other way round, because they're taller, it means their balls are a lot shorter. If they were trying to bowl a length delivery, it would be shorter and it would be easier to hit.
I don't care. Yes, they might be able to bowl good short balls.
No, I was saying that against. I wasn't saying that for your point. I was saying that was a problem because if they bowl. Having a tall bowler means that you have to be even more accurate. Otherwise, the bounce goes against you. That's what I was trying to say. I'm not saying that because it will be harder for the batsman. If anything, it makes it a lot easier. You try and bowl a bouncer, but being tall means that you put a bit more effort into it. It goes sailing over their head above the keeper.
Yeah, but what you're saying is the reason why people want tall people is because they can bowl short balls easier, and
Yeah, but that's not the
that's good
aim.
in Australia. No, that is really good. You want to be bowling short balls in Australia because it's going
But you
to
want
work.
quality short balls. You don't want
Exactly.
half-hearted ones.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying, and that's what I'm arguing against. Those people saying just because they're tall and they probably can bowl short balls doesn't mean you should be taking them, and that's why Matthew Potts should go. Because Matthew Potts is better than people. Your next, what's your next three? Because there's three people left. This is where, next three.
Shoaib Bashir, Mark Wood, and Jordan Cox.
I'd gone Cox as that spear batter. Argument spear batter. Then this is where I started thinking, and I was searching for another name to take.
This will be interesting.
Are you going to get angry? Maybe. I don't know. Sam Curran.
No, I can get behind that. I was thinking about Sam Curran as well. I'll give you that one.
Because I just think having him there, I'm not saying he should play, but having him there as he's, let's say, Stokes. If we get a couple of injuries, Curran is there. He can bowl. He can bat. Just good all-rounder to have as backup.
Now, I can see why you picked Sam Curran. The only reason let me think. England don't really have a test left-arm bowler, do they?
No. We tried Josh once.
Luke Wood hasn't been trialled in tests.
No, because he should not play test matches. He's burnt out after like 2 overs in T20I cricket. He would not last at all.
So that's been an issue for England. Like, they haven't had a proper quality left-arm seamer, even though, like, they practically haven't needed one, have they?
No.
Still winning games. But, I mean, it's a good option to have.
Yeah.
So I think, definitely, if the first 2 Ashes tests go like, really, and I'm talking, like, really deep in the mud, like, we're talking about absolute whitewashed, blanked in the first 2 days, then Sam Curran is an option to bring in.
Yeah, like, something different, isn't it? Just something like different.
Exactly. And I think that's loads of people's thinking behind bringing tall bowlers. They provide something different. But then when you look at this England squad, they've got too many.
Quality. People want quality.
Exactly. Like, that's the delusion behind it.
So, there's that 18-man squad. But is there anyone else you would like to give a shout out or you could go?
Maybe before the Ireland series and before the ODI against South Africa.
I'm scared you guys. Sonny Baker. Yeah.
Sonny Baker. I was going to include him, but then we've talked about this before, haven't we?
With Sonny Baker, of course he'll be playing. You play for England Test, definitely. He'll definitely play, but it's too soon. It is just too soon.
I agree.
That what the ODIs and T20 proved that Sonny Baker is just too soon. Yeah, they saw him do 100 and thought, we wanted to see how it goes, and he hasn't gone well, but he will go well, definitely.
If he's got the skill set to do it, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. So, someone who I'd say consider, okay? Really consider it. I've got 2 names. Right. I've got 2 names. I'll get to the first one first. Will Jacks.
I guess, kind of. I can see why they would pick him, but it doesn't really balance the squad.
Yeah, but it's just another one that plays just there, just in case.
Yeah.
A lot of injuries start picking up.
I reckon they could do a thing where, obviously, the spinners can't play every single game either. They're gonna have to rotate them at some point.
Will they though? I'm scared.
But I mean, you've seen Shoaib Bashir. You've seen his fitness. He hasn't been able to survive that
he took
series.
times wrong. That's the problem. The only time he wasn't fit was when he broke his finger.
Yeah, and what's stopping that from happening again?
Before then, he played every game so wrong.
But then, also, if it's a prolonged loss of form, like we're talking, he gets absolutely demolished by Usman Khawaja. He gets launched for I don't know, 100 in about 6 overs.
Just change name now, I agree. You get demolished by Steve Smith, okay, and yeah. Having Usman Khawaja's watch, by the way.
I agree, 100%.
So that top order for Australia, when we get to the actual Ashes pod, I will say why I think Australia will. I don't want to spoil it, but why that top 3 is very, very concerning for Australia. Very concerning.
And the bowling sort of covers that. I'll make a point on that later on. But anyway, who's your second name?
Well, he's played well. Okay, before you, he plays well, and I think he's been unlucky. So similar to Jordan Cox, he's been unlucky to not play for England recently, and that is Ollie Robinson.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Yeah, which one?
I had a feeling.
Yeah, which one I'm on about?
The Durham batter, not the Sussex.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely not on about that. The other one, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I might take him down as a spare batter.
As a spare wicket keeper, you could say.
Yeah, a wicket keeper, but I think he's a good player. He's a really good player.
No, I don't see him breaking into that top order unless there's specific injuries.
I'm not saying he should play. I should say as a spare batter / wicket keeper.
Maybe the reserve squad. He should be there.
Yeah, he's a really good option. Really good option because he got unlucky. It's similar to him and Jordan Cox was both supposed to at one point play against New Zealand, and both of them got injured.
I thought Ollie Robinson just didn't get picked. Did he get injured?
No, he got called up but didn't play because Ollie Pope found form as wicketkeeper. So that was closest Ollie Pope from.
In my opinion, Ollie Pope won't want to risk wicket keeping, especially with the vice captaincy.
Oh no, I'm on about the New Zealand series last year. But yeah, Ollie Robinson, another name that you could send down there because he's a good batter. He's a good wicketkeeper. Before Jamie Smith got told and got picked as a new permanent England wicketkeeper, I was thinking either Jamie Smith or Ollie Robinson should be England's wicketkeeper. Then they went down Jamie Smith.
I think everyone knew Jamie Smith was going to manage it. Everyone.
Yeah, but everyone. The argument was before James Smith got chosen, Ollie Robinson or Jamie Smith to replace Johnny Bairstow, and they went with James Smith. I mean, either of them would work. I think Ollie Robinson just got unlucky. They went with James Smith.
Just because he's younger, and the fact that because he was in a rich vein of form for the England A.
Yeah. So unlucky. I consider him.
Yep. Definitely not the other one.
Come back. It was last Ashes down under. He started bowling spin. It was very scary times. It was generally one of the worst things I ever went through. Ollie Robinson bowling spin. Have you seen it?
The amount of stress fractures in his back. His back is basically.
Did you see it? 2021.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw.
Yeah, he's bowled spin because his pace bowling was that bad.
I think it was more due to his back. It was his injury, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no, but still, his pace bowling still.
He really couldn't. He tried his best, but his fitness was.
At times, Ollie Robinson was good for him, but his still can't believe he bowled spin once. Have you seen the clip of Johnny Bairstow bowling spin?
What was that? Which was that?
It was in a county championship game.
No, I don't think I've seen it. Anyway, I think... Is that all we've got for today?
Yeah. Yeah, that's all we got for today. Yeah.
Right then. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always...
Wait, sure. What's that? Oh, the sound's back.
Oh, not this again. I'm not going to get in the same position. Down we go.
The sound's back. What? What's going on?